What's up, Buff Nation? Today, we've got several great news stories for you, so we're going to make like the Candyman and get slashing. Our main story today is about Coach Prime's brutal message to a former NFL player. Now, recently, a former NFL player had a request for Coach Prime that ended with an epic mic drop moment. Plus, we're also going to talk about Colorado taking yet another star player from Alabama and a couple other great stories. So grab you a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, sit back, and get ready because this is the prime time for college football. Our first story today, we're going to talk about Coach Prime's savage response. Now, recently, Chad Ochocinco asked Coach Prime about joining the Colorado staff as a wide receivers coach. Let's listen to what was said.
Spot right now. Since I already had 37 jobs, let's make it 38. How about you hire me to come be the assistant receiver coach?
You don't want to do that. You ain't dedicated like that.
I'm not, but I didn't have structure and discipline since 1968.
Yeah, but you ain't dedicated like that.
Like that.
You dedicated to play, but you ain't dedicated to coach. You ain't do that. You ain't like
a
that.
whole different ball game.
Right? So you basically you're gonna try to give me some mumbo jumbo and just say, you know what, I don't want to hire you. Why don't you just say no?
No, I will bring you in as an analyst, but you can't be there every day. You ain't gonna be there every day. I know you. You do know I know you.
Listen, I love the kids.
No,
I got
you
11.
love
I got
the kids.
11 of them.
You love the kids. That's one thing. You love the game.
If you give me a job, I will move to Colorado, man. I will uproot everything in Miami and I will come to
That's
Colorado.
a lie.
You know
and
that.
You know that's a lie. Well, if grandma was
promise.
alive right now, she'll cuss you out.
No,
you know, if grandma was alive right now,
who
she'll
tell
cuss
the
you
time.
out. Now
Man,
you
I'm
know.
telling
Now you know. And
But
Shannon, well, I'm talking about his grandma. That was my girl. He know grandma cuss him out if he was alive.
Man, listen,
Grandma know I know you.
I got my right hand up.
That's
your left hand,
bro.
but okay.
That's your left.
That's your left.
On
but
TV,
okay.
that's your right, but but we ain't gonna say.
What you think you was? That's why we know you. Because we already know you.
Now, this was quite funny, and I would assume most of you watching this agree with me. I got a few chuckles out of it, listening in, watching it, getting it ready for this video. But we know that Coach Prime was cutting up somewhat with Ochocinco. There's no doubt about it. Humor is something that comes out in all aspects of what Coach Prime ends up doing. We also know that he was being brutally honest as well. Coach Prime is absolutely right about Chad Johnson, Ochocinco, not being dedicated enough to coach. Now, I almost spit out my coffee when Coach Prime told him, "You ain't going to be there every day. I know you, and you know I know you." I love the brutal honesty. Listen, coaching is not fun right now. Coaching is not easy right now. I think that, Coach Prime's one of Coach Prime's coaches, right? Bobby Bowden, put out a book called To Coach. And he referenced a lot of faith-based things in that. And Coach Prime obviously references a lot of faith-based approaches in why he believes that he's coaching as well. I have no doubts that Coach Prime is either very familiar with that book, has read that book, knows a lot about that book. But coaching is hard right now, guys. You think about the fact that Coach Prime not having to get ready for a bowl game, but some of these coaches are having to get ready for bowl games. They've got kids leaving for the portal. They're trying to get new kids in from the portal. Signing day is just in a day or so. And it's all happening at the same time. You're trying to keep your players happy. You're doing exit interviews with guys that you know are moving on from your program. You've got graduations. You've got guys that you're trying to get ready for the NFL and everything else, and it just never stops. Plus, there's the daily management of just running a football team. Coaching is difficult right now. And if you're not 100% bought into it, if you're not loving it the way that Coach Prime loves it, if you're not bought in the way that his staff is bought in, then I don't think it makes sense for you to be on the staff. Now, he did tell him, I'll give you an analyst position if you want to start with that, and then maybe you can work your way up. I don't imagine he ends up taking it, but I love Coach Prime's brutal honesty. A lot of people think that this is just about a TV drama, this is a new reality series, Coach Prime out in Boulder. It's not serious. No, Coach Prime takes this serious. Ochocinco is a great name. Chad Johnson, I grew up watching that guy play. He'd be a great name to have on the staff. But if he's not going to sell out for it, then a great name does you not a whole lot of good. What do you guys think about Ochocinco joining the staff? Thumbs up if you agree with Coach Prime. If you disagree, hit the comments, let us know. But let's talk down in the comments either way. You think Colorado should hire him or not? Tell us why. Next up, we're going to talk about Coach Prime taking a massive defensive line upgrade from Alabama's Nick Saban. Now, recently, they announced Anquan Barnes. Barnes is a 6'4", 315-pound defensive lineman, a 4-star recruit out of Montgomery, Alabama. He was a member of Alabama's top-ranked 2021 recruiting class. Barnes is going to greatly improve Colorado's trenches with his humongous frame. Charles Kelly's goal is to make running on Colorado like running over broken glass. And we've talked about this. We've talked a ton in the last few days about how good of an offensive line haul Colorado has gotten, how many bodies they added to that room, from Jordan Seaton all the way through the transfers that we've talked about. And so many of you have commented and asked, but what about the defensive line? But what about the other side of the trenches? Well, this is now the second big-time transfer that they've picked up on the defensive line, and I don't think that they're done just yet, but this is a big one. A kid that's been through an Alabama strength and conditioning program, a kid that has learned under Nick Saban, a kid that has seen a lot of success and is now better for it, is somebody that will certainly help this Colorado roster, this Colorado defense, and this defensive line especially. What do you guys think about Coach Prime getting another kid away from Alabama, away from the SEC, away from that Southeast territory that is so vaunted and so protected? Let's talk about that down in the comments as well. Finally, let's talk about Colorado's current team rankings in the transfer portal. Now, for those of you who may have missed it, for a second year, Colorado is currently doing an absolutely epic job in the portal. They're currently ranked number 3 in On3's rankings, and they're ranked number 2 overall in the 247 rankings. Now, to pull off back-to-back top 3 transfer recruiting hauls in a row is an absolutely epic feat. There's some time to go. It's not necessarily done yet. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. But Coach Prime is absolutely open to and good with stacking talent immediately. In the portal, you're not always going to hit. Not every player that you bring in is going to be Travis Hunter. Not every player is going to be Shedeur Sanders. Not every player is going to be Jimmy Horn Jr. or Xavier Weaver or some of the other ones that came in as well. You're going to have some that just don't work out as well as you thought that they would. And so you have to throw numbers at the problem. You have to take a lot of guys to make sure that you have enough talent around to get the job done on Saturdays when you need to. But Coach Prime is being very aggressive, and I like what he's doing in this year in the portal. We broke down extensively the transfers that Coach Prime was bringing in last offseason, and we told you what we liked about them, who we thought could make an impact, who we thought might be more of a depth piece. But what Coach Prime is doing in the portal this year is certainly impressive. What he's doing to mold this roster into being a Big 12 competitor next season is certainly something that we should not be overlooking. It's something that has our attention. Coach Prime is not playing around. He's getting better talent this year. That's no shot at any of the guys from last season. And, I'll even rephrase and say, obviously, the very top talent, the Shedeurs, the Travis, those guys that were coming with him make a lot of sense. But I think what he's doing on the trenches right now is remarkable. I think the fact that he's taken away some SEC guys is pretty impressive. And I think that he is certainly in an understanding mindset of we have to upgrade. We have to get better. 4 wins from 1 is fine. That's not where we wanted to be, but that's fine. We can't win 4 games again. We got to make a bowl. We got to compete for the Big 12. That's the goal now. And I'm excited to see him continue to do it. Let's talk about all this down in the comments. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I love what Coach Prime's doing right now. We're just a day away from early signing day, so make sure that you're locked in with us. Thank you guys, as always, for watching the Prime Time for college football.